How's it going then, folks? Hope we're all doing absolutely fantastic. Welcome to a 4-4-2 second variation custom tactics video today. We are going to be doing this in a little bit of a different style of format because we're going to talk to you. First of all, we're going to give you the tactics, then the player instructions. Then we're going to go through and tell you what sort of players I think you need in each individual role, because that's something I've been thinking about a little bit more recently, that, you know, when tactics videos come out, it's like, well, I have this setup playing in this way because of X player and Y player. So that's something we're going to touch on. And then obviously we're going to give you some clips as well to show you how this 4-4-2 second variation plays in game. As always, if you enjoyed the video, do me a massive favor, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Your support recently has been greatly appreciated. So let's jump into it then. So we start in the 4-2-4 formation. We then use game plans, which is where you can set up any formation and any tactic you want, and it is the 4-4-2 second variation. Can you run the same tactics with the 4-4-2? Yes, you can. That's not a problem. It's just that we are going to be running that little bit of the deeper DM role because they're going to be there to kind of break up the counter attack, which we'll touch on as we get there. So let's head in to the defensive side of things, and this is where I think we have the least amount of change on FC24 for most people, really. I think this always looks very similar for a lot of tactics videos. Now, I have actually been playing a little bit of old gen recently for the first time in literally forever. And man, it's so different. It's so different. So I do want to touch on old gen users. If you are on old gen and you want to run these tactics, again, not a problem. I've tested it on both. The only difference is I would definitely be running a lower depth. 40 would be where I would kind of set you to. We are going to go with 35 width. Old gen users go 40 depth, and then new gen users, I've been going 59 on this setup. Now, the reason being is that I want to maintain a little bit of a higher line, but obviously I also want to have numbers inside the 18-yard box to get that block in if I can. The 71 depth is still very strong and still very good, but for a tactic that I'm just looking to be very neutral right now, 59 is what I was happy with. We don't run any of these two. I touch on this in every video that we do, purely because I think these are more situational setups. You know, if you are losing by 3-0, then yes, you would change the constant pressure by pausing it, and drop back is just, we don't want to use it. It's terrible, absolutely terrible, not good at all. For our build-up play, we go balanced, and this is still, for me, the best of everything. I've been trying all of these three over different setups and whatnot, and I just think balance gives you absolutely everything you ever need. When you win the ball, your team doesn't just yeet forward, or they don't just like slowly move. They just move gradually, and then it's down to you how you want to. If you want to hit quick on the counter with build-up play on balance, you can. You know, you've just got to trigger your runners, and you've got to be able to look for that. Now, for our chance creation, though, this is, again, I've been trialing this a little bit more over recent tactics videos, as you may have seen, and this is forward runs. And this tactics pushes your players so deep, and we're basically trying to create, I would argue, like a 1v1 isolated battle with each individual player. And we also do up and then right on the D-pad for hug sideline. Hug sideline is a joke right now, and we're going to touch on how you need to use that with your players very shortly. And then for our width, because of the hug sideline instruction, we are looking to naturally be quite wide anyway. So I actually go 69 width here, and this is one of the biggest widths I've gone in a very long time. We are looking to spread the play, to basically have chalk on the boots for our fullbacks and for our wingers to an extent. Players in box, I go 4. I don't like the box getting crowded in this 4-4-2 variation. There's something we do with the right mid, which I'll touch on. I want my 2 strikers in the box in the left mid, and then maybe a centre mid if they appear there, but it's very rare that that would happen. Now, I go 1 corners and 1 free kicks. I touch on this every time because I have a corner routine, which if you want me to do a video on that in detail, I can do. Let me know down below. If not, head to my Twitter. It is over on my Twitter as well. So, time for our player instructions. For your goalkeeper, if you have a keeper that you are comfortable with being quick off their line and you want to try and stop the crosses, because crosses obviously are very strong on FC24, coming to crosses sweeper keeper will really help with that. For our 2 centre-backs, we don't do any instructions. Stay back while attacking. Very simple. For our right-back, it is on balance and then step up. This is going to be aggressive, and there's something we'll show you with the centre-mids and what we do. Having that on the right-back and then also on the left-back as well, the step-up defensive position, I find, is so much better for you to really compact the opponent in. And if they specifically are looking for the big switch ball themselves, your player isn't 7 yards away from the opposing winger. your fullback will basically be touch tight, really getting hold of the shirt and saying, look, if you want to look for the switch, I'm going to try and make it as difficult as possible for you. For both of our centre defensive mids, I run cut passing lanes, and it should be on cover wing, sorry, on that one. Stay back while attacking, cover wing, and deep line playmaker on both of them. Now, why do I do cover wing? Basically, because you have the right back and the left back on balanced attack. If you are on the right-hand side, what will happen is you'll get your right back on the overlap and your right mid and linking up one another. If you then get caught on the counter, your right centre mid will move into cover wing. The left centre mid will still be in the middle, because if the ball's on the right hand side, he's going to be in the middle. If the ball's on the left hand side, then it'll be the left hand side player there as well. Now for our right mid, this is very based on the player you have here. So I have Dybala in this role, and the reason why I have this in there and stay on edge of the box across, come short and stay wide is that, well, I don't want Dybala running in behind because I don't think he's very good in that sort of position, and I want him on the edge of the box across for the finesse shot. If you have a typical winger here, where maybe you're not looking for a finesse shot or a trivela, you can have them on stay wide, come back on defense, and balance support on crosses, or even get into the box cross if you want, and then get in behind instead of come short. That's kind of the big thing here that I've done differently based on the player that I'm using. Now on the left-hand side, I have Timo Werner. He is much better at getting in behind, beating the fullback, got that pace, got that ability to kind of go shoulder to shoulder, so you can see how that plays just that little bit differently. And then for all our strikers, so the more, not necessarily bigger striker, but the striker that maybe isn't as good at turning and running in behind, have them on just stay forward. And then the left striker, which is for me, is João Felix. I have him on getting behind and stay forward. Like, I want João Felix running in behind. The right striker, I use Van Persie. I think Van Persie is not as good at getting in behind as João Felix. So the other thing to add on to this, in the player instructions, sorry, not the player instructions, in the D-pad instructions, you also want to do come back on defense on your striker, which is down and then up. So it basically means one of these will stay forward. So if the ball is on the right-hand side, your right striker will drop in. And then if it gets switched over to the left side, your left striker will drop in, meaning you've always got one there available for the counter and one just kind of helping out for you to press in the middle of the park ever so slightly. So let's touch on the team and how we have it. Peter Schmeichel has been my go-to goalkeeper for quite a long time now. Did the SBC. He just does the job, really. There's not much else to say to him. He has far throw, he has footwork, and he has cross claimer, which goes hand in hand with what I have on my instructions. Now for the right back, I'm still using a card, which I've been pretty happy with, to be honest with you. And it is Karsdorp. Medium work rates is the only stinky part to it, but I like him. I think his body type is good. The reason why you would want someone like him more than anything, if you are going to go for it, is for the whip pass. You can have whip pass silver here because they are getting up and involved. They are available. You want them to be good on the ball. You want them to be able to do a little bit of everything. So look at the play styles that you have there. On that left-hand side, I actually have lots of choices. Left backs is pretty much where my club is just galore, really. I use Udogi in this role. Again, I just think he's very good. Long ball pass, whipped pass. I'm looking for ball playing left back and right back, essentially, because they get forward. Now, one massive thing that you need for both of your centre-backs, okay? I use Van Dijk, and then I use... I'm not going to say his name too very well. I'm not even going to try and say it. I use this guy, and this guy is unbelievable. The massive thing about both of these players is they've got to be able to switch the ball. Now, Van Dijk, thankfully, has long ball pass silver. So switching with him is easy as anything. However, for this gentleman, he has unbelievable passing stats for a centre-back, really. Short pass of 92, 86 long pass, and 81 vision. So although he doesn't have long ball pass, he's more than capable of switching the ball. And why do we do that? Basically, if the ball's on the left-hand side, I'm going to look for that big switch to my right-hand side to Dybala, and then the opposite with Van Dijk. Now, both my centre mids, what do you want here? You want centre mids that are very capable on the ball. They are looking for passing movement. They want to be able to defend. They want to be able to do a bit of everything. I'm still using Ugart and Skip. These guys have got a lot of games in my club right now. And it's mainly because they have Tiki Taka Plus and they have intercept plus, which I really like on both of these centre mids. I think it's so good to have that. They are obviously, you know, behind the power curve now. There's kind of no denying that. But if you can have someone similar who's maybe got tiki-taka silver, good defensively. I've been using that Stanway on my other account, for example. So someone like that will do the job for you. Now, right wing, this is where I have the player that is more situational. If you are using a traditional right wing, you know, someone that's really, really quick to beat past their man, you don't have to do that come short instruction. But because I'm using Dybala, who has a finesse shot plus, and it is incredible, that's what I'm looking for with him, and just playing to his strengths as well. So do take into account that. Now, the left-hand side, though, we do have Timo Werner, as I said in the build-up. What am I looking to do with him? His play style is very much step over, beat the man, 1-2, pass in behind, look for that power shot plus. I don't use chip shot plus because I think it's terrible. And just, yeah, basically do what a striker does, but out on the wing. Werner can play out on the wing fairly well, to be honest with you, because his passing stats are good. He can basically do it all. He's so versatile. I wouldn't like him as much in centre attacking mid, but anywhere else on the pitch, he is a fantastic addition for you. And then I use João Felix. Didn't get a chance to finish off the Evo, unfortunately. He plays in that role of getting in behind. I've been a little bit hit and miss with this card, to be honest, at times. I don't like chip shot plus. Technical plus obviously is great, but trying to play to his strengths of those tiki-takas and that incisive pass if we can. And I do like him. I think there's striker options where you have the freedom to basically go with whatever you please. There's so many good strikers right now in the game, Van Persie being one of them. I'm very surprised at the price of this card. I was going to go buy him, and then literally I packed him straight away. I was very happy with it. This is an incredible card with so many good play styles. Again, chip shot being the only one I'm a little bit so on, but that's kind of the flexibility I think you have in the team, where you can kind of go with what suits you best. So as we take a look at some clips and highlights of how this 4-4-2 sets up, I just want to talk to you about what we are looking to do. When I spoke about the centre backs on that long ball pass, if they can have it, Van Dijk does. He's on the right hand side. You will notice if you give yourself, say if you just won the ball, you need to give yourself, your team, 2 or 3 seconds to get into their positions, and Werner will be available for that big switch. And that's something we want to do. Why do we want to do that? Because then we can take a touchdown, we can try and beat their fullback, we can link up to the strikers, lay the ball into the centre mid. It's a really good and efficient way to quickly transition into an attack. Now, when you get the ball into the centre mids, if they do have tiki-taka, you can move the ball quickly with first-time passes. If they don't, that's not a problem. Just essentially use the 4-4-2 like a zigzag, up and down, until you basically get to the 18-yard box, and that's going to work an absolute treat for you. When you attack and you lose the ball, your right back and left back will kind of be there, especially if you are moving it up and down the pitch really quick. Your right back and left back will tuck up ever so much, then meaning that your centre defensive mids will be there to cover, obviously, out on the wing. That then does mean, though, there is a little bit of a gap in the middle, so you have to be careful of this. So if you are going to step with your centre backs, you need to make sure that you have the kind of conviction in the step to basically push the opponent back. Because you have your right mid and left mid on comeback on defense, it's going to make 2 banks of 4, which is going to make it really difficult for the opponent to break down. And then with the striker drop back instruction on your D-pad, it means that when the ball is on that right hand side, kind of in the middle of the park, your right hand side striker will be there to drop in, and you can manually pull them back and press with them and give yourself the ability to put that pressure on the opponent with that. So it's a really good setup. It's a really good formation, something that I've been enjoying, which is a little bit different. 4-4-2, obviously a staple over the many years of this game, but obviously the 4-3-2-1 kind of takes, I think, the #1 spot for most people right now. So if you want something different, give it a go. Let me know how you find it. And also, we have recently started an educational series of Division 10 to the Elite Division, where we're teaching you everything gameplay-wise on FC24. If you want to catch the first episode of that, click this video right here, and it will take you over to it.